Hey, how's it going, everybody? Charlie Wilson here, aka Sinister Charlie. Welcome back. Hi. Um, I love you. I don't know. Hey, what's up? We got some fat electrician there. It's like it. Um, yeah. America's secret underground cheese bunkers. You know, if there's one thing I want our politicians to address, is our underground cheese bunkers. We need more cheese. Um, but yeah, let's see what this is all about. I got my coffee. I got my celery sticks. Let's go, gamers. uh, I just kind of stole that from Zach Hadel. But yeah, anyway, let's go.
This has almost nothing to do with the U.S. military, but it's so ridiculous I can't not talk about
Of
it.
course. Whack.
Today we're talking about America's strategic cheese reserve. Yeah, if you didn't know, the United States currently
Give me that
has
cheese.
over 500 underground cave warehouses spanning across 35 different states, the largest of which is underneath Springfield, Missouri, where America, as of August 20...
We know the mission, boys. You thought Area 51 was gonna revolutionize. I say we storm those cheese bunkers.
22 currently hoards 1.5 billion pounds of cheese.
Hell yeah.
And just for the record, I realize I'm uploading this video very close to April Fool's Day. This is not an April Fool's joke. I am 100% serious. El Dorado is real, and Uncle Sam made it out
It's
of
not
cheese.
cheese is no joke. Oh, that was such a good movie. All those movies I think it was Sony that made those movies, like Road to El Dorado and the Moses movie, whatever it was called. I can't remember. But yeah, those are really good.
And I know what you're thinking. Right now, you're like, wow, that's a cool little factoid. I can't wait to share that with my buddy at the bar one day. But no, this is going to infect your thoughts.
A King of
your
Egypt,
life.
I think, or
You're never
something.
going to see the world through the same lens ever again. I mean, for example, let's just say you're
Prince
at
of
home
Egypt.
watching The Walking Dead. You're going to
Sorry.
come to the realization there'd be way more fucking cheese in the apocalypse than that, okay? You're
Oh,
never
yeah.
going to be able to watch Mad Max again without thinking about cheese. You have to come to the terrifying realization that you live in a world where there is a
Full of
greater
cheese.
than 0% chance that one of these underground cheese caves gets mistaken for a government facility and gets nuked in World War III, and we're going to have to deal with a radioactive tsunami wave of nacho cheese. And this is real life.
I'm
So
down.
I asked myself one question. How on earth did America get to this point? Because I know it didn't happen overnight. And what I found was the craziest real-world example of a butterfly effect that I have ever seen. And believe it or not, it all actually ties back in with
I still have to do that
ice
one.
cream ships of World War II. If you missed
Pretty sure somebody suggested that. There's a lot I gotta do. And all your by the way, all your recommendations are being heard. We will get to them eventually. There's just a lot.
the super abbreviated version, basically the U.S. government banned alcohol during Prohibition in the 1920s.
Jerks.
Because of that, all the bars in America turned themselves into ice cream parlors to stay in business. Ice cream stepped up to fill the social void left by alcohol. If so facto, there was like 2 generations of Americans that treated ice cream like it was alcohol, socially speaking.
Oh, yeah.
As I'm sure you can imagine, this would drive up dairy consumption.
I heard
Combine
about
that with
the.
fact that
Sorry, I keep pausing it, but I heard about the why ice cream sundaes were invented is kind of because of that. I guess I don't know.
30s and 40s is when refrigeration would become readily accessible, meant that for the first time in human history there was such a demand for dairy products that farmers could exclusively become dairy farmers, meaning that this would be the birth of the entire dairy industry.
Yeah.
And honestly, it worked out great.
Got milk?
Right up until it didn't in 1949. 1949, 4 years after World War II, the American military is downsized. There's not an entire horde of young men eating 10,000 calories a day, and America's not exporting anywhere near as much food to other countries for war relief, meant that there was a decrease in dairy consumption, or a dip in the dairy market. As this became a bigger and bigger problem, the government had to step in because they weren't about to let the entire dairy industry implode, because, I mean, let's face it, that would be utter catastrophe. So the USDA stepped in and said, hey, you know what? We're going to buy all the excess milk. Okay, pause. Thought experiment. You're a dairy farmer. You make all of your money by selling milk. And then
Okay.
suddenly, a couple years back, motherfuckers quit drinking milk, aka you made less money. Now the government has come out of left field and said, hey, we're going to buy all of the milk.
All
What
milk.
do you do?
All the
You
milk.
make more fucking milk. And that's exactly what happened. So just to be clear, there was already too much milk Now there's definitely gonna be too much milk. So naturally, all the milk starts flowing in. The government has absolutely no idea what to do with it, so they turn it into cheese, that way it doesn't expire. That part makes sense, but now what do you do with all the cheese? They have no clue, so they just throw it underneath a mountain, ignore it, and hope the problem goes away. But it doesn't go away because every single presidential administration through the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, they all continue to buy up excess milk to prop up the dairy industry, turn it into cheese, and stash it away in these caves. It literally turns into a giant political game of kick the can
That's
down
pretty
the road
crazy.
because nobody wants to be the president that crashes the global economy by not buying enough milk while sitting on top of a mountain of cheese, which, understandable, I don't want to be that guy either. Then, fast forward to 1980, Ronald Reagan, aka the small government guy, gets elected, finds out that the U.S. government is sitting on top of 500 million pounds of cheese.
Well, I gotta tell you, I think that's pretty good.
And spending $1 million a day to refrigerate and store it, and he looks at this whole issue like a beaver looks at running water. Absolutely fucking not. We can't have it. So his administration goes about figuring out the cheapest way to solve this cheese problem. Obviously, we're going to throw it all in the ocean. However, having at least the foresight to understand that that would cause political backlash, he wanted to see how the public would receive it. So someone from his administration shows up to a White House press conference with a 5-pound block of moldy cheese and is like, hey, we got 500 million pounds of this shit. How would you guys feel if we threw it in the ocean? It'll be fun. We'll save money on cheese. We're going to find out if blue whales are lactose intolerant. It's going to be a great science experiment. The public did not go for it. They kind of felt like, hey, I've paid taxes for the last 40 years. You've turned those taxes into cheese. I would at least like the cheese. So then the Reagan administration took the 50-gallon drums of cheese, cut it up into 5-pound blocks, packaged it, and spent the remainder of his administration funneling 300 million pounds of cheese into impoverished and elderly homes. And this is where we get the saying government cheese from.
You're gonna end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
The U.S. government would then continue to give out government cheese until the 1990s when they seemingly ran out because as of today, all 1.5 billion pounds of underground secret cheese in America is privately owned by corporations like Kraft and Velveeta. And this is the part where I wanted to end the video on a happy note of the government made a mistake, they fixed a mistake over 50 years, happy ending.
No, that's not how the government
However,
works.
It didn't really make sense because something happened in the 1990s where the government was able to stop buying the excess milk. What happened? And that's when it...
I'm going to venture a guess, and I said it earlier. I think it's the Got Milk campaign from the that those commercials are run by the dairy industry. And before that, I guess before Got Milk, it was makes a body grow, whatever those commercials. I don't know.
It hit me. It was absolutely the Got Milk
ad campaign. There you go.
The biggest, most iconic ad campaign of all time.
But before that, it was
every cafeteria in every school in America
makes
had
a body
bunch
good
of
or
posters
something.
of famous athletes with milk mustaches saying "Got Milk, drink your milk." I vividly remember commercials as a child telling me that if I didn't drink enough milk, my arms would literally fall off my body.
Yep.
Well, Mr. Miller told me he never drinks milk. Look at him.
Oh, that's not good.
Got milk.
Surely this is what inspired an entire generation of Americans to eat and drink more dairy products, right? I mean, yeah, probably, but looking back on it now as an adult, doesn't it seem just a little bit weird that it wasn't a particular company putting on all these ads? Like, if there wasn't one company profiting from selling all this milk, where was all the money coming from?
Well, it was the dairy industry. It's a very large industry.
I mean, it almost seems like the government launched a giant psychological operation, ad campaign, just so that they could offload milk so they wouldn't have to keep contributing to their mountain of cheese. Well, I'm going to take this off now because that's legit exactly what happened. In 1995, the U.S. government created a nonprofit organization known as Dairy Management Incorporated, and their entire job was to get the American people to eat and drink more dairy products. Literally a cabal of individuals plotting behind the scenes to get people to eat more cheese. It's the cheesiest conspiracy of all time, and I'm not even kidding. Anything that has ever been sold or marketed that involved way too much cheese on it, this company is behind. Okay, they're the reason that Taco Bell started selling steak quesadillas. They were behind the Got Milk ad campaign. In 2002, when Pizza Hut had the Summer of Cheese event where they
I
put way
don't
too
know,
much
remember
cheese
that
on
what
all
that
the
was.
pizzas, this is who was behind it. In 2010, when Domino's almost went out of business, they
Really?
gave Domino's $12 million to stay in business, and
That's
then
not that
gave
much
them a bunch of cheese
for
so
Domino's.
that they could put extra cheese on all of their pizzas, and that was their entire proposition for staying in business. Hey, our pizzas have more cheese on them now.
Well, that's
so they're
nice.
good.
Thanks, Domino's.
It is absolutely
Side note, Domino's is actually pretty good in terms of fast food pizza. I used to be a Papa John's boy growing up, but that's way too much crust, way too much bread. The Domino's ain't that bad. It's my go-to. I don't know where Pizza Hut is. I don't know what's going on there.
insane. So I did it. I found the world's cheesiest conspiracy, but then I found leaked internal documents from DMI. And they are the funniest fucking thing I have ever read in my entire life. I'm gonna go ahead and read one for you now. It's a letter from Pizza Hut to DMI regarding a meeting they recently had, July 6, 1999. Dear Greta, we wanted to express our thanks once again for a wonderful meeting last week. We appreciate your team taking the time to share some very valuable information and creativity during our brainstorming session. Everyone is very excited about the presentation you gave regarding DMI's available resources and cheese industry insights. We look forward to working together to develop many cheese ideas we've discussed. We believe this is going to be a valuable partnership for both Pizza Hut and DMI.
So many cheese
Let's
ideas.
Sell more pizza and more cheese! Exclamation point. Thank you again for coming to Dallas. We look forward to talking
That's
to
awesome.
you soon about our partnership opportunities. We will call you next week to discuss the next steps. Sincerely, Derek, Lord of the Cheese.
Oh, wow.
And Liskrin, Lady of the Cheese.
Of course.
Even they know that this is a fucking joke. Why is this such a joke? Well, because Dairy Management Incorporated, while it is a non-profit, they don't actually have to raise money for themselves like most non-profits do, because they're also a government checkoff program, which means every dairy farmer in America is legally required, whether they want to or not,
To grow cheese
to
or make
send
cheese.
this
Oh.
company money so that they can advertise on their
Grow
behalf.
cheese.
And their annual budget is like $140 million a year, with their CEO and top level executives all making right around $1 million per year. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you there is a group of people in America getting paid $1 million to convince Americans that cheese is awesome.
Sounds about
that's
right.
like trying to fucking explain to Stevie Wonder what nothing looks like and getting paid $1 million for it. He already fucking knows that, okay? It makes no goddamn sense. Cheese is so fucking good that it is the one thing on earth that if you were allergic to it, we're not going to say you have a cheese allergy. No, you're lactose intolerant. We're not going to say you're allergic because we all know you're going to eat that shit anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Because the consequences are worth it. Am I upset right now? A little bit. Is it because I'm jealous? Uh-huh. It's basically selling ass candles to dogs and getting paid $1 million for it.
Okay.
It is the most ridiculously easy job on the planet. And I'm so mad that it's not mine. Anyways, I guess if you made it this far in the Unhinged TED Talk,
I did.
in conclusion, the U.S. government banned alcohol in the 1920s. It set forth a ripple effect through time, and now some dude in 2023 has my dream job of making $1 million a year to convince people of some shit they already knew. And the U.S. has 1.5 billion pounds of cheese hidden in an underground
Get that
cave.
cheese. We got to get that
The more
cheese.
you know, I guess. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch.
I will eventually.
Quack bang.
Next month.
Out. I'm gonna go eat some fucking cheese.
Cheese. We like cheese. You like cheese. We're gonna eat cheese. Let's go storm the bunker of cheese. Eat all the cheese. Eat all the cheese. I don't know. I feel weird today. There you go. Cheese. And I know my green screen's still a little off. I apologize. It's still, it's just lazy. Not lazy, just I don't have time. But yeah, we'll fix it eventually. So thanks for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, please like and subscribe down below. Good. Makes me feel good inside. Yum, yum, yum. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. If you have any suggestions, I'm pretty much going to get to most, if not all, of these fat electrician videos. So if you have any other suggestions, really looking for more military stuff that people might want to watch, me watch, and you watch at the same time. Yeah, but yeah, anyway, put those down below. Or you can call me a jerk in the comments. Already got a jerk. I like being called a jerk. It's nice. Feels good. get off on it. Yeah, so thank you everybody for watching, and bye.